Hi, Mike here. I'm the English Nomad and this is English Nomad Life. In today's video I'm just going to do a brief update as to what's been happening and sort of explanation as to why I've not been producing much content recently. So as some of you may be aware, and there is a playlist for this, I had heart surgery in October of last year, and I'm pretty much fully recovered now from the heart surgery, although occasionally I do get fatigue, and I've been told that can take quite a long time before that completely is gone. As far as my medication's concerned, I'm down to a very low dose blood pressure medication and an aspirin a day, so things are looking pretty good. I feel pretty fit and healthy. I'd say I'm virtually back to 100% fitness. I did complete my half marathon in May. That was on May the 26th. That was for the British Heart Foundation, and it was a half marathon distance, and I did it in a fairly respectable time, all things considered, you know, being just over 6 months since my heart surgery. So yeah, that's probably the main things that I haven't kept up to date with. And so what's happening right now is I'm walking around the campsite where I work at. I took a job in Scotland, and it's right next to Loch Lomond on the eastern side, on a campsite as a warden. So we'll have a walk around and I'll show you around the place. So it's a decent sized campsite with about 120 pitches and tents and what have you. Some are seasonal, some are touring. We've got these lovely spots next to Loch Lomond itself. So I've been here several months. It's coming up to the end of July, so we're in the middle of the sort of school holidays, so we have been very busy here. It is a really nice site, very picturesque. Weather can be a bit changeable though. It's a bit breezy today. We had a lot of rain over the last few weeks, but it hasn't deterred campers from coming. We've had a lot of people here, even in tents and even in the horrible weather. And Bronson's loving it. So I think it's about 50 minutes drive from Glasgow. So it's a very popular place for people to come for the weekend out of Glasgow and the surrounding areas. So it's very popular. Get a lot of people on the weekends. The weekends are very, very busy, especially Friday and Saturday night. So what's the job entail? So as a campsite warden here, my role has some very important aspects to it. One of them being keeping on top of the maintenance of the site, so cutting grass, trimming, keeping on top of the weeds, keeping on top of the rubbish, emptying bins, cleaning the facilities, general sort of going round and fixing things, painting, a bit of everything really. And then obviously the customer facing part of the job, which is in the office, dealing with check-ins and taking new bookings. They have a small shop on site, so dealing with sales side of the shop, you know, serving customers who come in for milk and bread and confectionery, snacks, drinks, that's all on site. We have this lovely little pebble beach on which is very popular with kayakers and paddleboarders, and we get some motorised boats. They have a little boat yard here, so people come with their little boats. I like going swimming in the loch. I've got my wetsuit and my cold water swimming gear, so sometimes I go for a swim. It's a bit choppy today. There is a bit of a breeze today. I don't know if you can hear it on the sound, but it is quite windy. Come on, mate. So yeah, getting back to the job, I've been here for several months. I'm anticipating being here till probably September or October, depending on how busy they are. But I made the decision to do this because I wanted to continue living in the van, and this seemed like an ideal opportunity to be able to travel around Scotland, or this part of Scotland, on my days off and see bits of the area whilst earning money and still living in my van. So one of the great things about being a campsite warden is you don't have to commute to work. You live on site. I work 40 hours a week, and because I'm on site, you get quite a lot of downtime, depending on what shift you're on. This week I'm going to be on the late shift, starting at 1, finishing at 10. So that shift really lends itself to being able to do things in the morning, maybe go for a run or go for a swim, and then go to work in the afternoon. Take Bronson for a nice walk. And generally the people who come here are really nice. There are aspects of the job which I don't particularly relish, is the right way of putting it, like dealing with rule breakers and having to go round and tell people to turn the music down, and tell people off for trying to have fires. We are a site that doesn't allow wood fires at all. Barbecues are okay, but people will insist on being sneaky and lighting fires, when they think they're not going to get caught. And unfortunately, you can smell them halfway across the site, and you just follow your nose and you find a wood fire, and you have to tell them to put it out. So that's one aspect of the job I don't particularly relish, is the going round and having to enforce the rules, but it is a part of the job. But by and large, the people that come here, most of them do follow the rules, so it's not a big aspect of the job, but it does put you sometimes in the line of fire if people get upset with you because they don't like being told off. This is the main toilet block. The facilities here are really good, and we keep them very clean. They're checked regularly. That's part of the job, going around checking the facilities, making sure that they are working properly. One of the common things that we have to do is unblock toilets, and that's one aspect of being a warden all people have to deal with, is dealing with the less desirable part of cleaning and looking after the toilets. It's a very popular place with families and especially with dogs. Everyone who comes here has a dog. See lots of dogs around. So yeah, we'll walk back up to where I'm parked up. I get a pitch here with power. That's part and parcel of the job. So it does kind of compensate for being on a minimum wage contract, is having that pitch and power included, laundry's included. So it's not a bad deal. I'm happy. It saves me driving around constantly looking for somewhere to park up as a van lifer. For those who aren't aware, this is coming up to 3 years as a full-time van lifer. Both me and Bronson have been van lifers through several winters and several summers now, and it's been a great life up to now. But working on a campsite has a lot of benefits to it. Like I say, you know, the hours are normal sort of working day. Depending on what shift you're on, it's 8 hours, and with the exception of a few little things that you might have to do outside of normal working hours, you're not really expected to be on call. You might have the emergency phone on, like I will have the emergency phone on the days that I'm on late. But up to now, no one's ever called it. Unfortunately, my colleagues have had a few calls when they've had the phone, but it hasn't happened to me yet. And look, most of the time, it's just someone bloody who wants to get on site when they've arrived late and the gate's locked, and we don't open the gate. We have a late arrivals bay, and they have to go in there. So the sort of things that people are phoning for can be dealt with very quickly. But this view, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Some mornings when the mist is coming over the mountains, it looks glorious. You get a lovely sunset. There is a video I put up from the top of this field here, looking in this direction with the sunset. And yeah, you get some beautiful sunsets, because that's obviously west where we're looking now. So it looks quite quiet at the moment, but we've just had most of the departures leave, and now throughout the afternoon and early evening we'll start getting the arrivals for today, because this site is actually one of those sites that gets a lot of people who are only stopping for 1 or 2 nights, and a lot of on-spec arrivals, people who just book when they arrive. So although there's lots of empty pitches right now, I anticipate that there'll be a lot of people arriving over the next few hours. And it's interesting because I sit in my van and watching rocking up and setting up their camp for the night or for the 2-night stay, however long they're staying. So we'll walk up to my van and you can see where I'm situated. So being a full-time van lifer, being parked up in one place for a decent amount of time is actually quite good, because saves me a heap of money in fuel. So I'm making a wage, I'm saving money in fuel, and the other news, and if you've not seen the previous video I uploaded, is that I now have a motorcycle as well. So I made the decision when I took this job that I was going to have a second mode of transport, but this time I was going to have a motorcycle, not a car, as my second transport, because I can tow the motorcycle behind the van. So that's a job I did in May, before I came up here, was I fitted a tow bar. I bought a tow bar online, and I fitted it myself. So This is the van. That's my motorcycle trailer here. I've just done a load of work on this. Put new suspension, new wheels, new tyres on it. So it's ready for the trip back to Manchester when I do leave. And that's the view I have. And that's the view I have from the van. So that's the new tow bar I fitted. And that's the BMW R1250 GS that I ride on my days off. I have the awning out right now. So this is my setup. And as a van lifer, this is it's great to have a permanent place to stay for the summer with a view like that. So yeah, that was just a brief sort of introduction to where I've been, and I hope that you continue watching this channel and liking the videos. I'm going to be creating a lot more content going forward, because I think this is one aspect of van life that people can appreciate, is how different ways that people make money when they live in a van permanently. And there are lots of different ways of doing it. This is the way I've chosen, and what comes after the season has ended. So I will be creating content going forward, and I'm working on a video right now which is about the day-to-day sort of work that I do as a warden. So I will be putting that up, and I'll also be sharing some more insights into van life and what van life looks like for me, both the good, bad and the ugly. So please consider giving this video a like. Please also consider subscribing, and as always, comment below. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye.